Hi, hello, and welcome back, everybody, to Wolf Tales. Last time, we were taking a bath, and Mirari decided to join us. Phew! I feel much better now, says Mirari. It's been so long since I last enjoyed a hot bath, she says. Oops, sorry, let me get that out of the way. Oh, princess, you're finally out. How was it, asked Fuyu? Do human baths compare favorably to ours? To be honest, it was pretty cramped in there, says Mirari. It seems like human bathtubs are only made for one or two people at a time. Seriously? Asked Fuyu. That's so weird. How are you supposed to clean one another in a bathtub as cramped as that? Fuyu asked. Indeed, says Mirari. I wonder the same thing. Though I suppose it does make bathing more intimate. Even though it certainly was cramped, I can't say that I didn't enjoy myself. While Mirari happily recites her new experience, I slump down on the couch completely and utterly exhausted. With my eyes closed and my body limp, I allow myself to sink into the couch as the tension begins to slip away. It may have been a relaxing bath for you, Mirari, but personally, I don't think I've ever felt more stressed after a bathing. It took all of my willpower just to refrain from doing something I could never take back. Honestly, I'm more tired now than before I entered the bath. So, are you going to go in next, Fuyu? Asked Mirari. I left the water in just in case you wanted to take a bath for yourself. Nah, I'm good, says Fuyu. I'll just lick the important spots clean. No need for a full bath, says Fuyu. As quickly as my consciousness has begun to slip, I suddenly open my eyes wide as I hear something which confirms my pre-bath prediction. You never change, Fuyu, says Mirari. Okay, have it your way. I'll go get started on dinner while you two relax. Mirari heads into the kitchen, wasting no further time on relaxation. Having already cleaned my back dutifully, it seems Mirari plans on moving straight on to her next self-assigned task. Geez, I say, that girl sure is a hard worker. You can say that again, says Fuyu. Though right now, you look far more tired than she does. Me? I ask. Fuyu nods. You're tired, right? Asks Fuyu. You should take a nap before dinner. I am a little bit suspicious. Well, that does sound like a good idea, I say, but, asks Fuyu. What are you gonna do with me while I'm asleep? What? Asks Fuyu. What are you talking about? I'm not going to do anything, she says. What kind of ungrateful, conniving person do you take me for? Asks Fuyu. I ask. You really aren't going to do anything to me? Of course not, says Fuyu. I swear on the pride of my kin, I will not do anything to your body as you sleep. I examine Fuyu's face carefully as I smirk in amusement. Honestly, I don't think Fuyu would play any pranks on me while I'm asleep. Nonetheless, her reactions are certainly fun. All right, I say. I think I will take you up on that. Wake me up when it's time for dinner. After I eat yours, perhaps, says Fuyu. Figures, I say. With a smile on my face, I close my eyes once more and sink into the cushioning of the couch. Overcome by feelings of both comfort and exhaustion, I begin to fall asleep in a matter of seconds. Fuckboy King, says Mirari. Fuckboy King, wake up. Ah, you're awake, says Mirari. Sorry to disturb your slumber. I yawn. No, don't worry about it, I say. What's up, Mirari? Is dinner ready, I ask. Yes, almost, but before that, Mirari says. The moment I attempt to stand up, I realize what Mirari is staring at. It seems that at some point during my slumber, Fuyu started to snuggle up against my body, ultimately succumbing to the urge of a nap. With her legs propped up on my lap, she has gradually fallen asleep and is now sleepily sound next to me. Wow, Fuyu seems like a completely different person when she's asleep, I say. I'm in two minds about whether I should actually wake her up or not. Looking down at the peaceful, content look on Fuyu's face, I feel a slight tug inside of my chest. Contrary to the attitude she usually displays when she's awake, Fuyu currently looks like an innocent, adorable puppy. How on earth could I put it into that? Let her sleep a little while longer, Mirari says. Dinner can be reheated anyways. It would be a shame to wake her unnecessarily. Yeah, I guess you're right, I say. After all, Furiyu's pretty tired if she's willing to sleep on my leg. Hearing my take on the matter, Mirari smiles and shakes her head. I don't think that's the case at all, says Mirari. I understand how Furiyu's actions must seem to someone who doesn't know her well, but the truth is, Furiyu's more insecure and needy than she lets on. Furyu is just too afraid to let others know how she truly feels. Mirari takes a seat next to Furyu on the floor while speaking tenderly. It is clear from the tone of her voice that she cares about Furyu, and even if Furyu won't say so directly, I'm sure she feels the same way about Mirari. Furyu always puts up a tough front, but she is still just a young woman. She's been pushing herself to a frightful degree these past few days. Were it not for moments like this, I think she would collapse under the weight of all of it. Furyu is trying so hard to make everything right. No matter what I say to her, all she can think about is bringing me back home and returning to our clan. Hearing Mirari's take on Furyu's actions, my impression of Furyu begins to improve. I start to stroke the fierce young girl's head, treating her like a pet despite the displeasure she has already expressed to that end. Nonetheless, in her current state, Furyu doesn't possess the presence of mind to reject my goodwill. Instead, her body moves on its own. Furyu's head moves towards my hand as though it's begging me to continue petting her. Lick. Furyu, still fast asleep, licks my forearm as I continue to pet her. Seeing that, Mirari lets out a soft sigh. If only Furyu was honest when she was awake, says Mirari. If she was, then maybe the three of us could truly stay like this after all. Stay like this, I ask? You mean in my cabin? Rather than avert her gaze or retract her words, as she has until now, Mirari looks down at Furyu's sleeping face with a smile. After a few seconds of silence, Mirari opens her mouth once more, starting with an unexpected notion. You know, Fuckboy King, there was a time when our pack leader ordered all of us to kill Furyu. What? I say, my eyes and mouth open wide at Mirari's revelation. Rather than address my surprise, however, Mirari simply continues to speak unabated. It is the job of the pack leader to make a tough decision on behalf of everyone. They must do what's best, even if others wind up hating them for it. The order to kill Furyu was one such decision. It was during one of the hardest winters the pack had ever endured. They hadn't found a permanent dwelling like the one on the mountain yet either. He said that we couldn't take care of a runt like her. She would just drag the whole pack down with her and cause us many hardships further down the track. At the time, nobody wanted to agree with him, and yet they all knew that he was right. It was nothing personal. She simply had to die for the sake of the pack. I swallow my words several times as I try to think of how best to respond to Mirari's revelation. What could I possibly say in response to something so horrible yet apparently necessary? Rather than risk offending Mirari and her pack by saying something tactless, I decide to ask the obvious question. What happened after that, I ask. Furyu's still alive, so surely something must have happened. Mirari nods. I was only a cub at the time, the same age as Furyu, so I don't remember any of this myself. But according to my mother, Furyu's parents rebelled against the leader, saying they couldn't possibly kill their only daughter. And the leader took pity on them. I ask. Mirari shakes her head. He exiled them both, along with Furyu. He said that if they wanted to raise her, they were on their own, and they would receive no further help from the pack. It was a tough decision, both for Furyu's parents and for our leader, but everyone agreed that was just how it had to be, Mirari says. Mirari sighs as she thinks back on the decision her leader came to. Despite her personal feelings about Furyu, it seems as though she bears no grudge regarding the leader's decision. Cold, heartless, yet always doing what is best for the pack, says Mirari. That is the kind of man that our leader was. Not a kind, charismatic leader beloved by his followers, but a ruthless man of action. The kind nobody asked for, yet everybody understood why we needed him. Mirari speaks of the leader with a sad smile on her face. Seeing her mixed feelings come to the surface, a question pops up in my mind. Say, Mirari, I say. Given that Furyu always calls you princess, am I right in thinking that the pack leader is Miyarati nods before I even finish speaking. Yes, that is correct, says Miyarati. Our pack leader, or at least our previous pack leader, was my father. Regarding my question before I even ask it, I press on. Was? I ask. What happened to him? Did he step down from the role? In a manner of speaking, says Miyarati. My father died 3 years ago protecting the pack from a bear. Since then, my mother has taken over leading the pack in his place. She's been doing a fine job, especially considering how half-wolves usually think of female leaders. But unfortunately, I don't think that the current arrangement will last much longer. Tears appear in the corners of Miyarati's eyes as she recounts her father's courageous death and the burden currently being placed on her mother. Despite Miyarati's apparent desire to leave her pack, it is clear that she still thinks of them quite fondly. My mother, she's growing weary in her old age. She doesn't possess my father's strength, nor does she bear his unyielding will. It is only a matter of time before she is crushed, if not by the weight of her position, then by the old age and sickness, says Miyarati. When that time comes, the line of succession will lead to... Miyarati opens her eyes wide and suddenly realizes something. Hurriedly wiping her eyes and nose, she corrects her posture and attempts to clean up her appearance. I'm terribly sorry, Fuckboy King. We were talking about Fuyu, weren't we? My apologies. It was selfish of me to begin prattling on about my own circumstances like that. Before I can disagree with her, Miyarati goes back to talking about her dear friend Fuyu. When my father died, it was decided that we needed to increase the size of our pack to make up for his disappearance. Seeing this as an opportunity to rejoin the pack, Fuyu's family came to us, their runt now stronger than ever, and expressed their desire to return to our side. Bearing no personal grudge for the circumstances which led to their departure, they agreed to my mother's condition that, for their return, that Fuyu's family would forever serve mine. Bearing no personal grudge from the circumstances which led to their departure, they agreed to my mother's conditions for their return, that Fuyu's family would serve mine forevermore. Since that day, Fuyu and I have been together whether we like it or not, Miyarati says. And of course, over the time, the two of us have grown close. Fuyu has become like a sister to me, and I cherish her more than anything. Alright, everybody, I think I'm going to call it here for this episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time for more Wolf Tales.